Hey, what's up? How's it going, everyone? This is Jose Benavides, and you're listening to I'll Watch It Later podcast.
And now for our feature presentation.
This is great because on the back it actually says this film is also known as
the I'll Watch It Later podcast.
You ever heard of that film?
And now, on with the show.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back to I'll Watch It Later podcast where we lie about the movies we've seen to impress our friends. As always, I am Aaron, joined by my jovial
piece of garbage,
titty rubbing man, Jordan, best friend.
Hi, everybody.
And Scott, who's just flipping me off for
the
no
other
reason.
piece of garbage.
He's just an asshole.
I'm garbage.
Yeah, Forky.
I'm trash.
Change your name to Forky.
Forky has a question.
Why is that funny? It is
funny.
If you're listening to this week, we are currently in
like
Universal
Miley
while
Cyrus.
me and Scott are, while Jordan is sitting at home wishing he was with us, but it's
I wasn't
okay.
invited.
You were
I
absolutely
was not invited.
You are invited. Get in the car with us.
We got plenty of room on the top of the SUV. We'll strap you down.
I know you have nothing going on next weekend. Come on.
Strap you down like grandma from fucking.
I was going to say vacation. Fucking the Aunt Edna. Just
Or
stick
Aunt
me on
Edna,
top
there it
because
is,
she was
yeah.
dead, wrapped in a sheet.
Hey, let me ask you a real question. This is a real question.
We'll talk. We'll take it off air. We'll see.
No. This is on air.
No, we're
question.
doing it on air.
No.
We'll do it live.
This has nothing to do with next week. You and I are going.
In April.
Correct.
Right.
The same weekend.
I invited Rob Stark, by the way, just to
that's
see if
fine.
he would say yes.
What did he
or no.
say?
He said no.
Because of me?
I don't know.
Oh.
He just said no.
You can
It's
tell me
me?
the truth.
No, I don't know.
Hi.
Okay. Well,
was
I know
last
he
show.
doesn't like me. I don't know why. It's like these people do this thing where they're like, "Hey, I didn't like you when you were 20 because you were an asshole," and it's like, okay, well, I'm not even close to the same as I was when I was
Yeah,
20.
You're
39.
like, now I'm 39 and I'm an asshole.
Anyways, no, but my real question to you is, because Kim's gonna give you the buddy pass to
Right.
fly, would you be pissed? This is such a funny question. If I went Friday so I could watch Once Upon a Time in Hollywood and then you flew and met me the next day.
Yeah.
Okay, then I won't.
It's just that makes for such an inconvenience.
This is exactly why I said I bet that sucks for you to see that
I
it's
could
playing
do
at
it.
New Bev.
Well, there's no reason you can't fly in because you'll be able to get on the plane just as easily as I'm able to get on the plane.
So you're circumventing the fact that we were going to go to Universal together
Let's go on a
first
trip
We are
together.
gonna
by
Just
going
not
with
together.
other people first, and
No,
then now you're
that's-
like,
that
well,
wasn't
fuck
my-
you, just show
hold
up.
On, hold on. That wasn't my idea. It wasn't my idea to go.
Yeah.
So don't get mad at me.
You're just saying.
And secondly,
Stop changing the plans, man.
I'm not changing shit.
You are. You were about to.
I go, hey, me and Jordan are going to go to Universal in April. Kim, well, you want to go March 25th because I ain't got nothing going on, and the boys would like to go, and I want to see the Mario place. Okay, that's
Just saying,
fine.
the initial walking into Mario World was going to be a fun.
I don't
you
even
and me
know if we're
hand-holding
I don't
thing.
even know if we're going to Mario World. So
I'm just saying that would have been
you
fun.
and I might be going.
And then,
to Mario
much like
World.
Hobbs and Shaw, your wife just ruins everything.
She'll listen to this and no, she's a ruiner, but she won't hear it before we go, so she won't know she's ruining everything.
No, I don't care. But yeah, I mean, come on, don't go out. The day
All right,
before.
I won't,
Don't
I won't.
make me travel. I hate traveling by itself. I think
Fine.
it'd be fun to watch you panic on a plane. Don't make me do this.
Hey, man, you want to go on a trip with me? But not with me because
Yeah.
you'll have to fly by yourself and Uber to the fucking airport and then,
Right.
then make your way to the hotel
Uber
by
to the
yourself.
airport.
From here?
He's not Ubering. To the
Yeah, well, whatever.
airport.
No.
We'd come home together. I'd give him a ride home. He just didn't get dropped off. I just really
That's your
want to see
consolation
Once Upon
prize.
a Time in Hollywood.
Well, it sucks.
You won't fly out Friday with me?
No.
I can see it. It's right on the
Just
wall.
to
I told
spite
you,
me?
This is a day trip, man.
Oh, Jesus Christ. All right. Anyways,
That's the Aaron thing, though. He's like, hey, Kim, no, we'll go on this vacation for the boys. Hey, by the way, at midnight, there's a showing.
oh, she
Say,
the street.
I hope you guys are safe in the hotel
like
in
that-
whatever ghetto neighborhood we last minute booked.
So here's
I'm
the-
going to the New Bev.
Here's the thing: is you guys sit here and think that these are all my ideas. She literally said, "Oh, if we go, you can totally go to your little movie theater because we'll be there Friday night." I said, "Oh." I looked up what movies were playing.
Aaron's like, really? Oh,
Nah.
no, I
I was like,
didn't
no,
even think
but there
about
was
that.
a midnight showing to Kill Bill, and I was like, well, if I'm going to go, this is what I'm going to go see. I'm not 100%.
Volume
I'm
one
going
or
to see how
volume
I
two?
feel on
Hold
that Friday.
Volume 1 or Volume 2?
Volume 1.
Okay, well, that's worth going to.
I know.
Volume 2 is good, but if you're going to go to a midnight showing at the New Bev, Volume 1 is the one you want to do.
I think so, too. But I just, yeah, she's
But
the
that
one.
is going to make you fucking
hate
exhausted
for the next day. Yeah.
So is it really worth
That's
it?
what I said. So you're going to go to a midnight showing. By the time you get back to the hotel, it's going to be damn near close to 3 o'clock.
Right.
Exactly.
And then you're going to pull your ass up in the morning when the kids get up at 6
Sure.
in a hotel room.
That's
and
why
then
I'm-
you're going to be like, I
And then you
fucking
got to drag
hate
ass through a
everything.
fucking theme park the next day. No.
Yeah, I know. That's why I'm debating it right now.
Well,
I haven't
and this
decided
is,
yet.
This is why, and
Let us be the voice of reason.
And-
for you.
and this is
You guys are
why-
voice of old.
going to see a 2.5 hour Quentin Tarantino movie at the New Bev on a Friday night before going to Universal the next day is a terrible idea. And I know my limits. I know my age.
But we're adults. We can
Correct.
sleep into 11 and still have a great time.
Do you think I'm really going to do that?
No.
No.
Anyways, all right. So, yeah.
Aaron's World. Aaron's World.
Just because you guys
Aaron's World.
think like old people and I'm still out here living like I'm 22.
Yes, I know my limits though. It's not even like
But see, Aaron's-
mentally I'm all for it, man. I'll go do all these things mentally. And then when I physically start doing it, I'm like, I'm fucking
No.
tired.
Aaron does not think about that. He just goes, "No, I can do it." And then halfway through the process, Aaron's like, "This is a fucking terrible idea."
Dude.
Oh yeah, no, he was
I thought
sad
that-
Friday night every time fucking Taylor Swift put out one more song.
Every
Oh, yeah.
time she
He's
went,
like, God
I was like,
damn it!
fuck.
Song. He's like
All I
23 songs in, knowing he's not even halfway done. He's
I didn't
20
know
halfway
that.
done.
And I know he's looking at the set list thing on his phone.
Well,
'cause he
there's
always
no-
does it.
There was.
This
That was the first
night.
Oh, that's
So there was
that's
no
true.
set list, and I'm just sitting there like,
She's like, ha ha ha.
this has.
She's like, I got
it's-
you fuckers
so
in
she,
the palm of my
She
hands.
went on at 8 p.m.
8 a.m.
8 a.m. Didn't finish till 11:30
So I
at
said,
night.
okay. I said, worst. This is 2.5 hours.
No.
Kept
But see,
going.
here's the thing. You
Nope.
know that I think the industry standard is concerts have to end at 11.
I didn't know
So
that.
yes, every concert you ever go to ends at 11.
Okay.
It's like it's a union thing or something like local like ordinances or
Noise
something.
ordinance, I believe.
So 11 o'clock is always going to be the cutoff. So if she got on at 8, you knew you had. Going forward, every concert you go to, you know it's going to stop at least at 11. They're not going to end earlier. They're going to end at 11.
Yeah.
And going on it when you said she went on at 8, I was like, oh, you're in for a fucking ride. And sure enough,
Enjoy the hall.
good luck.
Dude, it was.
I didn't know you had to work that night. That's the other thing that
well,
really was
so
fun.
and everyone's like, well, why would you go to the show if you
Well,
knew
why
you were
not?
working? Because I was asked to work, and I said, yeah, I don't think I have anything going on that day, and then I didn't realize the tickets coincided, and that was like a last minute thing that I was like, oh fuck, I have to work in the morning. So I was like, okay, whatever, it's just 12 hours, I'll be fine. I was not fine, dude. Like I was in so much pain.
Can we
Again,
somehow
remember
can we
this.
share the video of Aaron singing "Love Story" on our TikTok?
No,
I'm
fuck
sure, I'm
off.
sure I could put that together.
I would
Oh,
love
that you'll share.
For fans,
I won't post about the show, but
for
I'll
fans,
post
we get
about the
Aaron
show.
singing fucking "Love Story" at the top of his fucking lungs
And?
with no auto tune.
and and
And then when she did Tim McGraw, I fucking cried.
Cried and sobbed.
Tears down my face. Anyway, yeah. So remember that feeling, and remember this incident when you start making these. Dude, if we fly in, we could rush over here. We'll go see the midnight of this, and then we'll be up, and then we'll go do Universal, and then we'll fly out that night.
I want to see
We
Once
could
Upon a
drive to
Time in
Burbank and eat
Hollywood
ramen.
at the New Bev. That's a dream. So yeah,
Well, I'm sorry to break your dreams with pre-planned stuff from a month ago. You know what my dream was? To walk hand in hand into Mario World with you for the first time, and you're ruining it to be with
I
Scott,
won't go.
your other bitch.
I won't go to the place then.
No,
How's it feel being second fiddle?
fucking,
You're not second
Your
fiddle.
second bitch.
like, my best friend Jordan. No, I'm not.
You are my best friend.
Anyway,
Just
He's
not
just
that
my
much of a
friend
best
by
friend.
marriage because I guarantee I would have.
you're an inherited friend.
If I wasn't married to his sister, I would have burnt that bridge a long time ago. I'd be like, God, I'm just. So
he
tired
tries
of
every
you.
week.
He would have. The only guy that fucking completely tolerates all of his bullshit.
You don't though.
Because I literally live a street over from him.
Oof, yeah.
I'm over here all the time. Most normal people would have been like, fuck this.
What?
I'm not gonna lie. Like,
What does that even mean?
I'm not gonna lie. When he said like, "Oh, the house across the street's for rent" or whatever, and I was like, "I can't live that close to you, man. Well, our friendship would end because I just don't like people enough to be there constantly." And I know you would want to see me every day, and I like that, and that's nice of you. But it's not a you thing. It's I don't want to be around people that much.
See, that's how he always asks me.
There's a
He's
lot
like,
of
you
interaction
live
for
a
me.
street over, man. Why don't you come over that often? I'm like, because
I need my me
sometimes
time.
too much of one thing is
Are you?
not
Are
good.
you?
Oh my God!
What a fucking... Are you
What?
stupid? Are you serious right
What?
now?
Get angry.
You're
What
here
are you-
every fucking night, dude. You're here
and you
every
are?
night.
And you are?
I'm at work.
Okay. That's the point.
So
You're always like, why don't
what
you
are
come over when
talking
I'm here?
about? Yeah, that's what I'm saying. You're not here when I'm here, but you come over every
But I
fucking
can tell you right
night
now, if
when
it
I'm
wasn't
not
for
here.
if it wasn't for the wife or my daughters or something, dude, I probably would not be over here every night.
Don't come over then.
Okay.
Jesus.
I'm really getting into a
Nobody's
fight on that
fucking...
So, Universal is going to be fun. So, hey, did you watch anything this week after our last show?
No.
Nothing.
Really? Nothing? You didn't watch anything?
No, I did not.
Like randomly?
No.
Damn.
I
I
know.
watch stuff.
What'd you watch?
I watched Forbidden Kingdom, Jackie Chan and Jet Li.
You talked about that, though.
We did briefly. Like I said, I wanted to get my kids into stuff. We talked about. I watched Shanghai Noon,
What you talked
which didn't age well. I still want to watch Shanghai Nights just to kind of let the kids watch it. I did introduce them last night.
Was it problematic or it just doesn't? It's not a good movie.
It's not a good movie.
Okay.
Like some of the jokes are dumb and some of the lines are funny, but like
Never touch a black man's radio. Oh wait, that's
no, that
wrong
was
one.
Rush Hour, which I was gonna watch, and then I took it off streaming, and I was like, I'm too lazy to put the disc in, so I didn't do that. I did get the kids to finally watch for the first time Raiders of the Lost Ark,
Nice.
and they really loved it, which
Good.
made me so happy because I was like, I remember watching. I think it was Wesley's age when I started watching the first one.
Temple of Doom time.
Yeah, well, that's what I said.
That
We're
one's
gonna
scary,
watch Temple
though.
of Doom. Well, here's the thing. I didn't let them watch the face melting at the end.
Oh well, then you're not. You're not a good parent.
Well,
then.
I think it puts me in a good parent category because
No.
it was right before bed. Like we're watching this movie, and I'm like, do I want to be up all night with these little?
You should have
fuckers
said like
having
that's what happens. when you
face-melting
don't
nightmares.
Listen to me.
You don't listen to God. No, I don't know. Like it was cool to kind of see them. Like I wasn't sure if they were paying attention at first, and then like one of them would get up to go to the bathroom. It's like, can you pause it? We got to keep watching. I was like, okay, that's a good sign that you've hooked them in enough where they don't want to miss anything that's happening. And it's kind of neat because their introduction to like Indiana Jones is unfortunately Fortnite. Because Indiana Jones was part of Fortnite.
Weird.
Well, yeah, but they're at that age where they're constantly playing Fortnite. They introduced Indiana Jones as a character in Fortnite, and you can earn him, and you could actually be him, and stuff like that. So
Does he
they're
use a
like,
gun?
no, he's got a whip. No, he's actually got the staff from the first movie. So that's his like little breaking thing, and then you can use guns.
Pretty good with a bow staff.
I don't
Yeah,
like
that's right.
that. I hate Fortnite.
But
As I play Marvel Snap every day. It's just the same thing, but with cards.
but that's their introduction to kind of him as a character person. Obviously they know who he is and stuff like that, but to see them actually care about the property and the characters and want to watch Temple of Doom, it kind of took me back to being a kid myself, which was kind of neat because I watch these things now and I have such fond memories of growing up watching Raiders of the Lost Ark for the first time, and maybe sneaking into the living room watching my parents watch it because like I wasn't allowed to watch it at first. And I remember the scene where they were in the pit with all the snakes being a lot scarier as a kid. And now I watch it and I was like, that's tame compared to things that I've seen.
Well, duh.
Well, I know,
You
but
see
like
chick getting flailed and ripped in half and shit.
that's what I'm saying. Like it's
We're calloused.
yeah, it's like I forget my feelings when I first watch it. So I'm trying to get them to watch these things. And, last week I put The Mummy on for the first time, and halfway through they're like getting freaked out because that's when the mummy starts coming to life. And I'm like,
I was telling
it's
you.
not that bad. And I'm just like going, well, I'm not 7. I'm not 11. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I don't know how they're reacting to it. So to get
Show
them
them Terrifier. and
Suck
then
it
you'll
up,
be
you
fine.
big pansy.
to stop being little bitches.
Yeah. Watch this chick get sawed in half.
Right. Now eat your mashed potatoes. But like to see their enjoyment of it, it's kind of a fun. It's nice that they're at that age where I can start introducing them to things like that.
Yeah,
it's
but
kind of cool.
I think the issue that I know I'm going to run into as a parent who wants my kids to be into movies as much as me is, yeah, they'll watch Indiana Jones and then they'll probably never revisit it because it's not all they have. They have constant fucking streaming new stuff and it's just flying at them at 200 miles an hour from every direction. And I think the reason that I'm so in love with movies and the fact that like
That's what we had.
it's all we had, man. You would watch the same movie 50 times because you had to wait a year for a whole new set of movies that come out,
Right.
and you in the meantime you were watching Indiana Jones and Star Wars, and that was it. That's all you had, and you only had access to certain things because VHS tapes were really expensive, or you'd go to a library and they had a limited selection, or you'd
you
go to
handpicked your
Blockbuster.
movies. Yeah, you handpicked your movies at the video store, and
You
you
had to
come
be
home with
selective,
Yeah.
fucking stacks of movies, and you would just rewatch them because you had them for like a week.
Yeah,
at the
and-
time before it was like a 3-day rental,
Yeah.
man. You had a week to watch these movies, and you would just rewatch them
Burn
over and
through
over and
them.
over
And
again
now
until you.
everything is at your fingertips, and
Yeah.
you're like, okay, I've seen Indiana Jones, so now I don't need to revisit it because I have a whole list of things, and it's all right here. And that is where I'm getting with okay, my kids aren't going to want to keep watching the same thing because they're just going to constantly be getting new stuff. There's always going to be a Star Wars movie. There's always going to be. It took us fucking. I was a kid when fucking episode 1, 2, and 3 came out, and I just remember buying the DVD and watching it over and over. And it wasn't a good movie, but I was.
Well, you
like,
got to remember
to me,
the
it was a
last
good
one
movie.
came out. What 83 was Jedi, and
Yeah.
we didn't get the prequels until 99, 98, 99. So like that's a huge gap between franchises because you're right. Now the prequels ended, and then now we're getting Disney's sequel trilogy and all this stuff, and we've got a deluge of content. So yeah, I mean, to have them like it the much as
Right.
they did, and then want to watch Temple of Doom and watch the further ones, and I tell them that it's only a trilogy. There is no fourth movie. It's nice to be able to revisit those kinds of things. Like, yes, the CGI isn't the best. Yes, some of the visuals aren't the best.
I'm okay with that.
But
stuff.
I think they're learning to look past some of that stuff, which is a good thing because not everything needs to look like a cartoon. And to give them like little tidbits, like, oh yeah, they filmed the scene with all the snakes. Those are all real snakes. Those aren't digital snakes. Those are real snakes. Those are to have that visceral feeling of they were in a room full of snakes. I didn't tell them there was plexiglass between them, but you know what I mean. Like they got to
should have
Marion.
ruined it.
The truck blows up, and Indy thinks Marion's gone. My daughter's like, "Is she dead?" And I was like, "Yeah, that's it." Well, I thought she was going to be in the other ones. I was like, "No, she's not in the second one. She's not in the third one. That she blew up." I got to play that off, and she was very concerned about it. And then when she came back, it was such a nice feeling to see her excited to see Marion back on the screen. I miss having those moments where it's like,
Well, it's like the Vader moment.
yeah,
You see people like film their children watching Star Wars when he reveals to Luke that he's his father.
exactly.
And you see
Fucking spoiler alert.
the kids like turn to their parents and they're like shocked and they're like, "What just fucking happened, man?"
Right.
And it's like, you only get those moments once
Hey.
in your life, man.
If that
Especially
was-
with the internet. Like, everything is out there and spoiled. No,
Yeah.
Not one person, even if they haven't seen it, doesn't know that Sixth Sense ends the way it does.
if that
There's
was,
no secrets.
If that was today, it would be a reveal on a TikTok. You're like, oh, Vader's Luke's dad.
Yep.
Like,
Yeah, but you know what I mean. Like they don't. They're so entrenched in everything. I don't think their little friends are talking about, oh yeah, this is what happened in Indiana Jones, like the Raiders of the Lost Ark. No, so I get to show them some of that older stuff that I think is good, and it kind of leads into I'm glad physical media still is thriving in a way where it's like we can find some of these offbeat movies, we can get a hold of physical copies, and just really show them some of the cool stuff that we grew up with. Like there are some gems out there that stand the test of time.
And as much as streaming has really kind of, I'm not going to say ruined everything.
Kind of has.
It kind of has. However, on the opposite hand,
This-
it's given us the ability to where if we fucking find a movie we want to watch, I can go online and I can find it.
Yeah, 9 times out of 10.
Yeah,
right?
I'm not hunting a video
if
store
I had
for it.
streaming when I was a kid, this wouldn't exist. This
Yeah.
room would be something different.
Oh, I know.
So, but I'm like, I need it because it might go away one
Well,
day.
you
And
gotta
it's not
think-
going away.
What you got to think about The Last of Us TV show that they just ended their 9-episode run. I'm going to buy it physically. And the reason I'm going to buy it physically, not because I can't access it on HBO, it's because HBO has had a track record of removing things, even their own properties, off of
Westworld.
streaming. Westworld, and some of the other things, because guess what? If they don't stream it, they don't pay the actors residuals.
Right.
And they don't put out physical media. So if it's a physical media, I have to get it, especially on some of these things that I know don't stream, or
Cry about it.
you,
I'm just kidding.
fucking stab you.
With the
Put a
corkscrew.
knife- Yeah, corkscrew your face.
It was bottle opener.
But you know what I mean? Like having when we talked about the last episode, Scott had to go find the weirdest version of Tai Chi Master because he didn't have the physical version of
All
it.
he
But
had
it's
to,
not streaming.
all he had to do was the thing he hates doing the most: come over here and just borrow the disc for
Dude,
14
I'm not,
seconds.
not throwing any shade, dude, but it's hard to watch fucking movies over here unless we
Oh.
watch them super late.
What did I say? Did I say
Borrow.
come over here and watch it? Come over here and borrow the disc.
Dude, I have a DVD player. I don't know where the fucking remote is. So it's impossible to navigate through the menu
I'm gonna buy
on
you a
the
fucking-
We need
buttons.
to buy him just like an Xbox.
Yeah.
Dude, it's been sitting there, and I haven't plugged that DVD player in. And it's a Blu-ray player. I've not plugged it in 5 years.
So
which
I
is,
have to
which
watch.
is why streaming needs to survive for people like
Yes.
Scott.
I have to
Because
wa-
I want the convenience.
So what I
true.
have to do in order to watch our films, if I want to watch them during the day, which most of the time I do because I'm usually busy at night, is I have to set my kid up with the iPad and then watch it while he's watching the iPad, screaming at me, "Watch something else!" And I'm like, "No!" And I think we'll get into it a little bit later, but that's why I felt the way I did about Blood Simple. But I watched it twice, so. Anyways,
Yes.
Watched it 1.5 times.
did you?
I had to rewatch the end.
I had to
fell asleep.
I had to rewatch the beginning because I was like
The hell's going on?
mad. But we'll get into that in a second. Just I want to talk about this a little bit. Quentin Tarantino announced his final film
Is
will
it really
be
going to be his final though? Do you really?
yes,
As much as
As
he
much as-
talks a big game and he's talked about
yes,
stopping and writing, do you think this is going to be it?
yeah. Especially when I saw him live and stuff like that, and I've heard him on like when the Pure Cinema and stuff like that. His whole thing is like all these directors who he loves would just make movies to make them, and then they would end with like a super shit film, and he doesn't want to do that. So he, after 10 films, and plus he's like all into like raising his kids and stuff, and he likes writing because he loved writing like the cinema speculation and stuff. So he might produce and write stuff, and I think we'll probably still get like Bounty Law and like episodes of TV shows and stuff. But yes, I think that the Movie Critic will be his final directed film. Yes.
Would it be so fucking poetic that he's always talked about going out on top and having
If it
these
sucks.
directors that he loves making that last film that wasn't as good as the previous
Right.
catalog. Could you imagine if this movie was shit?
I would be very upset.
Could you like?
I'm just
like,
upset Don Lovitz isn't in it.
What?
From the critic?
John Lovitz.
Or is it John Lovitz?
I'm like-
Did
I'm like,
I
who
say
the
Don Lovitz?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm like, who the fuck is Don Lovitz? Yes, John Lovitz. It's thanks. Yeah, but like, I can't.
I agree with you.
That's
but,
gonna be so
but
bad.
the way he writes about critics in the book, and the way he had a relationship with this specific female critic, I cannot remember her name, but she is a very popular critic in L.A. And she's not anymore. And and the way he talks about her, I know
Is it
what.
the older woman with the big poofy blonde hair?
Yeah.
I've seen some of her stuff. Like she had like looked at Harvey Keitel one. She goes, "You've had some really good movies, and you've had some stinkers." And he's like, "Really? Are you fucking kidding me?" Like she was so blunt. If that's the same woman, that's hilarious.
Yeah. So I think he's going to. I think it's
it's
going
gonna be Margot Robbie.
Well, that's fine with me. But that
Giant hair.
and we're going to see her feet all the time. But
for sure.
if he is going for what I think he's going for, and it's like a relationship between a movie critic and a director, kind of like he had when he was like releasing Pulp Fiction and stuff like that, I think it's going to be fucking awesome. And I'm not going to go into if it sucks. I will admit on this show first it sucks, but I'm just
I think
stoked.
the harder part is going to be admitting to yourself that it sucks.
No,
like
no.
if it like because it's hard to
No, 'cause-
separate your love for that man.
No,
with a lot
not
of
really,
things.
because I think whatchamacallit is not a good movie. The fucking Grindhouse film.
Death Proof?
I don't like it. I think it sucks. I think
When
the
you-
car
you-
crash scene is okay.
I think when you go back and revisit it, it's not as bad as when I saw it in the theater.
I saw
Because like I loved Planet Terror over Death Proof
Yeah.
when I saw the double feature, like the midnight,
But
and I was
I've
like,
rewatched Death Proof recently, and it's still I'm just like it's boring, dude. Like this, there's nothing for me here. You know what I mean? Except for that car crash, because I know how that car crash was done. It was done real, and they only had one shot at it, and blah blah blah. But
well, it's the same when you watch Rodriguez's Dusk Till Dawn, when you know that when they blew up the liquor store, that was a one-time deal, and they were able to talk and do their dialogue, walking away without flinching and stuff like that. it's impressive to watch the making of these kinds of things.
Yeah.
So yes,
I think the making of it is more entertaining than the
Yeah.
actual film, but I'm stoked for that. James Gunn finally announced who's going to direct the new Superman film, and it's going to be James Gunn. I mean,
Shocked by
nepotism is alive and well, but it looks like he's going to do a run of either Superman Birthright or Superman All-Star Superman, which
think
is
it's Birthright.
interesting. But if they do Birthright and they do it correctly, it will be the best Superman movie ever made, and I'll tell you why. Birthright is the best comic book ever made because it is one contained thing. It explains exactly how like kryptonite works, like it's like how it makes his blood like boil inside of him, and it's just like his relationship between like Lex Luthor and how they were friends for a really long time. And I know you, Smallville. No, dude, like read Superman Birthright and it is the one of the best written stories of all time. Now, if it's All-Star Superman, that just means he's going to kill off Superman in the MCU immediately, and which is fine, or the DCU. And
I don't think they're going to do that. I still think DC and Warner Brothers and whoever's going to end up having this after Warner Brothers tanks or whatever. I think Superman is always going to be their heavy hitter, and Batman's going to be their heavy hitter.
yeah,
Like those are the only two characters they have to ensure continue this legacy of keeping their characters alive. You're not going to sit there and go, "Oh, the DCU was great," but it's not until Green Lantern came in and finally revamped the entire. Green Lantern's cool, but he's not the face of DC.
But DC is not going to put the
I'm
footwork
biggest
into it
Green
like Marvel
Lantern
did.
fan.
They're not going to do it.
I think.
I mean,
I
it's-
think Marvel,
unless they start over. I mean,
They are. That's
is
what that's
crumbling
They're just imploding
and-
everything.
but they're going to have. But they're coming right out with got to do Superman, Batman because
Well, no,
those are the,
they're doing fucking Frankenstein and the fucking Howling Commandos. Oh wait, that's fucking MCU. So
I think Marvel's on a rickety bridge, and I feel like they might be going the way of the dodo here pretty soon. But we'll see. I mean, we'll always
think they
have
lost
the
their
movies.
way. I think they got too big for their britches.
Yeah,
and I
and-
think what they're going to have to do is start toning it back down, focusing, not putting so many properties out, because you got things like Black Panther that took so much of the power that it needed to make that movie look the way it did that other movies like Ant-Man suffer from it. Obviously, you also have to, they're worrying so much about continuity that they got this giant ball of yarn and they don't know where to fucking pull from. So they gonna have to slow down a bit.
Yeah,
And it's fine. I'll still go see every movie and all this stuff, and it's all still fun for me. But this Phase 4 was such a downer. Like it's like I don't want to be sad all the time.
I like that you
just
say
want to have fun.
you'll go see it.
I'll still
but
see
you
it. Shut up.
You didn't see it, man.
I'll go next weekend. I have a free day.
You will go next
I'll go
next
next.
All
I'll
right,
go next
cool.
weekend.
All right, we'll see. I'll be like, hey, did you go see Ant-Man? Shut up! I had kids. I gotta do stuff. I'll be like, well,
Okay.
we were supposed to leave. We were supposed to go on a trip next weekend, so I know you're not. You're lying.
I'll go.
Okay, we'll see. Because we're going to see John Wick 4 on Thursday, correct?
Yeah.
All right, cool. Are you going to come?
Be so tired.
I know you hate hanging out with me.
we'll see. I don't make any plans far out in advance.
It's true. We're gonna have to text him literally Thursday afternoon.
Yeah.
I know.
He'll
Are
ignore
you-
that until about 9 a.m.
I didn't know you guys were going.
Are you in? Are you out?
This isn't Go Ahead Podcast. This is a different podcast. All right.
He's like, I'm going. We're going to the movies at 10:45 tonight. Are you in?
Yeah.
I'm like, Jesus.
I mean,
Are you?
so
We
the
have kids. It's
well, the
hard.
problem is, we have kids. Hey, we have kids.
What?
You had softball Thursdays, and I do the other show on Thursdays. But now with the time difference, I'm getting out earlier because now 3 hours ahead instead of 2. So I think I could start making earlier movies like
I
at
like
9
it.
o'clock. I mean, now that doesn't sound early, but
My favorite thing is when we make plans on the show, like that no one cares about.
fuck it. Love it.
It just says that there's a 3 p.m. and a 7 p.m.
Well,
we'll have to go
that's-
to.
that'll have to
Harkins
be
or something.
closer.
Yeah, but all right. So we'll definitely see John Wick, but you won't see it, or we won't even be able. No, we'll do. So what we're gonna do is we'll do the snack show, but we'll also do John Wick retrospective, where we'll talk about all 4 movies. I did that on the last show too, but that way we get a chance to talk about it. And you don't have to wait a month to hear us talk about it. So it will be Blood Simple. I'll pick my movie. We'll do snack show and John Wick show, and then we'll go back to our regularly scheduled programming.
Cool. Big
Scott
goals, huh?
I'm sitting there talking to Scott, and he's just like,
Well, I was trying to process because you're like, we'll do Blood Simple, and I'm
I
like,
was like, that's
we're
right
doing
now.
Blood Simple right now.
yeah, we're doing that right now.
Then next week,
Yeah.
technically, it's snack show.
Right.
Correct.
But we won't be here next week, so we'll have. Who cares?
No.
Anyways,
Yeah.
do we want to get into?
Pay no attention to that man behind the curtain.
Do you want to get into your movie that you haven't pulled up any information for?
What do you mean?
Got it all
It's all
ready
in my
for
head,
you.
baby.
Okay,
So we doing it?
Yeah.
We're doing it right now?
we're doing it right now.
Okay.
Hold on.
Oh,
This is breaking. An hour ago, Everything Everywhere All at Once has surpassed $75.58 million domestically, passing Morbius. Finally.
I feel like if you and I made a movie, we could surpass Morbius, but we'll never know. 'Cause
Anyway,
we're too lazy
sorry,
to do that.
Morbius sucks.
Yeah, that's all you got to do to win a Grammy.
He's a good card in Marvel Snap. Also, I'm in a Marvel Snap group chat
Mhm.
that I just got added to randomly
Right.
on Facebook.
That's weird. Okay.
All of them listen to the show. I brought it up because I took a picture of my movies, and then they were like, "Oh, do you do podcasts or something?" And I was like, "Yeah." And then they all started listening, and they all liked it. So if you're from the Marvel Snap podcast, welcome. Or the Marvel Snap podcast, Marvel Snap group, welcome. We should do a Marvel Snap podcast.
Nerds!
Yeah, we already saw your brother
kidding.
post that. But yeah, no, seriously, we should. Where we just talk about Marvel Snap.
We'll just play
we
Marvel
play
Snap
Marvel
as
Snap,
we're
and then we'll
talking.
talk about it and be like, well, this guy just pulled a
Like,
fucking.
oh shit, I just fucking
fucking
Galactus on the
Yeah,
whole thing, and then I still have 2 more moves.
My
It's just,
favorite
it's
thing
just
is
30 minutes of silence. Yeah,
the
take
theme
that.
music.
My favorite
just
thing-
Aaron going, yeah, bitch.
Theme music
Yeah,
that Aaron-
bitch.
Theme music that Aaron's never actually heard. Hold on.
Have you ever heard it?
Yeah, here.
Oh Jesus! dude. Haha, what a joke!
And you guys want to do live sound.
Here, do live sounds.
I think I'm gonna
not
start
working.
looking into the YouTube stuff too.
Here we go.
What's that?
It's the Marvel Steps.
Oh,
I didn't
yeah.
even
See,
know.
that's what I'm
'Cause
saying.
I
You don't
never
even
li-
know because you keep it on mute to hide your shame.
Because all I know is when Aaron's on his phone and I know he's playing Marvel because it would just
Oh,
be sitting on the
sure.
couch going, yeah, fucking take that shit, you piece of fucking shit.
Yeah, fucking quit. Oh, or you pull a move so heinous that you know they're debating, do I just quit out now? Or do I try to do another move? And yeah.
So
I do the- I
I
do the
play
same.
I play
It's
at work
ridiculous.
constantly, and I have a
Eat that fucker.
I have a guy that sits up above, not above, there's steps above
Suck
me,
my
and it goes
Jubilee,
into
motherfucker.
kind of like it's a control room. So there's a computer, but I have a desk downstairs. So I'll just be sitting there,
He's admitting
and I'll be
he's
like,
at work playing Marvel
and I'll be
Snap.
like, yeah, you fucking bitch, you thought you were smart, and they'll be like, are you okay? And I'm like,
No.
I'm fine. And,
good.
it's just
yelling at
when you
people.
outsmart somebody so well.
Playing
in
a
that
deck
game.
builder on my phone.
Yeah.
Don't worry about me.
Yeah.
I'm just putting in my debit card information.
No. No. Once you get to a certain level, there's no point in buying anything anymore. So you're just like, I think
Anymore.
Anymore.
I think I've paid as much as I need to pay in the
Yeah.
game. But but my favorite thing to do is when somebody pulls a Galactus, I immediately retreat, so they only get the 1 cube. And I'm like, oh, you thought you were gonna win?
Right.
Well, technically you won the 1 cube, but still. Anyways, what did we watch this week, Scott?
So we watched
I was just
from
making sure he had time to pull everything up.
1984.
84? This came out a year after I was born.
84.
Both things suck.
Directed by Joel Cohen and uncredited Ethan Cohen,
God,
the Cohen brothers. Their first film, Blood Simple.
What I know about is Texas. And down here, you're on your own.
Hello.
Having a good time?
Hey, what's it?
Your husband.
I got a job for you. It's not strictly legal.
You want me to kill him?
Ray, let's get out of here.
What do you want to do?
What do you want to do?
What's funny is if it's not you she's sleeping with, it's someone else. What's really gonna be funny is when she gives you that look and says,
I don't know what you're talking about.
You look stupid now.
it tells
Maybe he
it
was
says
just there.
uncredited. It says uncredited. I think he was one of those where it was part of.
He was just-
and I think now that all the other films have come out, it's now he's uncredited as part of that film.
Oh, okay, because I was like,
But funny story is this was a crowd-funded movie.
in '84.
Yes.
Who funded it?
So apparently the Coen brothers put together a short movie trailer and went house to house showing this to people and collecting money to make this movie.
Look, do you want to buy Maxim subscriptions or do you want
Yes.
to fund this
You
movie?
could never do that today. People would shoot you.
Girl Scout cookies and fucking fund Blood Simple.
That's fucking crazy.
Yeah.
That's actually very interesting.
House to
Good
house,
fact.
knocking on the doors. Hey,
Yeah,
you
see,
want to
stuff
watch my
like
trailer?
That makes this movie a little bit more interesting to me. Like it's like you fucking went house to house in probably like Austin, Texas.
So I am not going to lie to you. I watched this movie twice, and the reason why is because I started it one day, and I was bored out of my fucking mind, but I rewatched it, and I wasn't bored. The beginning of this movie is not good. I don't care what anyone says. The beginning of this
It's
movie
30 minutes of before you really start kind of getting into it.
You know how you can end this movie right away? Stop fucking with your curtains open.
Right.
Dude,
If your
everybody's by
curtains
a
were
window.
closed, no pictures of you were out there, no one would know shit, and that's it. The movie's done.
Everybody is so close to windows in this movie.
Fucking
They are
so many
next to the
windows are
window.
open.
But I did want to
so
make a
frustrating.
comparison. The movie reminded me of what's that guy's name? He wrote books, scary books.
Stephen King?
No, back in the day.
R.L. Stein.
No, he went to what's that guy's fucking name? Edgar Allan Poe.
Okay.
That's way back.
This is.
Back in
I was
the
going
day.
to say,
This
I'm
movie-
thinking like the 80s, 70s, and he went fucking 1870s.
This movie reminded me of the fucking Heart.
Telltale Heart.
Yes, when he's like pushing, like in the backseat of his car, pushing on the blood, and then he has the fucking towels on the backseat, and you can see the blood spots, and it keeps going back to the blood. I thoroughly enjoyed this movie after old boy gets killed. After old boy gets killed, this movie's a 10. And
You mean, what was it, Roy?
yes,
When he gets
the
shot
husband,
through the window?
Yeah.
Oh, you need the husband.
Yeah.
So that was Marty.
Yeah,
Yes.
Marty. So
Marty.
he pays this hitman to do off his freaking wife's lover,
Roy.
and
Yes.
then ends up getting shot for the $10,000 because he gets the fucking job turned on him.
Right. Yeah, and I just thought everything, like the first 30 minutes of this movie is fucking really boring, but
It is a slow build.
it's a setup, and I get that, and everyone always jerks off about this film, and I get it. I totally understand, but I think things don't really get interesting until he kills that guy.
Yeah, it's great after that.
Yeah.
Once he realizes he's alive.
Yes.
Because that's what I was like when he opened the door of the car and he's like not in there, and I'm like, this motherfucker's alive because I saw him breathing after he got shot.
yeah, and it's
What are
hard
you doing?
And it's
Burying
hard,
you.
Well, and it's
That's all
hard.
I think of.
And it's hard to tell if like
He has the shovel.
was that just bad editing or was this part of the plot? And then when
Right.
it happens, you're like, oh, it's part of the
Yeah,
plot.
he's still alive.
Oh, this motherfucker's alive. You know, he's still
Alive.
living. He's
But
living.
some great shots, man. I mean, when he's walking after him in the road and he's dragging the shovel like the fucking crazies and shit. You know?
Yeah,
I mean, he's
dude.
Yeah,
like,
that was cool.
you know, you could hear the shovel scraping against
Listen,
the
man,
asphalt.
I love Frances McDormand as much. She is not worth killing over. Fucking, and I also really like the scene at the end where she stabs the guy and he's like shooting her through the thing.
Yeah, and then he has to punch through drywall
Yeah.
to unstab himself.
Yeah,
That was-
because
that was a
apparently she
great
has the
scene.
fucking arms and forearms of the Olympic bodybuilder
Well, she-
to be able to
and
stab.
twisted it.
Yeah, but to be able to stab through his hand and twist and actually embed it into something. No, you can't take this knife,
Let's
which is
see.
about the
Let's
same
find
size,
out.
and stab it through wood and bone.
It was like a steak knife.
Yeah, but still,
I don't
because steak knives has that kind of just
I
rigidity.
don't know. Apparently, she was good enough that they were like, "Hey, we're going to sign you on to do 8,000 more of our movies."
Every one of our movies.
Maybe I think it's like the Kevin Smith, like any
Yeah.
director, where it's like, oh, these are the people I like working with. So
Right. That's
Fargo, everything, you know.
No, she's
Burn
good.
After Reading. Is that a Coen Brothers film?
I don't remember.
Fargo? Yeah.
Burn
No,
After
Burn
Reading.
After Reading.
Oh, I'm not-
I think it was.
I think it was too.
Look, it's a seat.
but everything in these, like the Coen Brothers, man, it all kind of has like a central theme.
Right.
You know, they're all bad choices. Like
For sure.
people make bad choices, and it's all the unfortunate fucking events that unfold because of those bad choices.
Mm-hmm.
And this was no different. Like, and you can see where this movie kind of attaches to every fucking movie they've done from here on out.
Yeah, it definitely felt Coen Brothers-y, but it did feel early Coen Brothers-y, which I thought was very...
this was like almost
was just
student film
cool.
level,
Yeah.
like how to make a movie kind of thing, and that I think just took off.
This would be where I am at right now with maybe like an Ari Aster, where I'd see this film and be like, I thought this movie was all right. I can't wait to see what else they do.
Right.
But we already are at that point in our lives where
Yeah.
we've seen what else they do. So when you go back and watch this, I don't think it's necessarily a bad film. I think it's a great film for the level they were at.
Do you
at
think
the
that
time.
taints your viewing of their early works now that you know
No,
what the things that they've done? Because like
because-
you're like, okay, I see where they were, I see how they are. I'm giving them that pass.
I don't know because I
don't think it's a bad movie though.
No.
Yeah, I don't think it's a bad movie either.
But no, but see,
I don't
half
wanna-
of it is.
hopefully
like,
I
half
don't-
of it is
yeah.
kind of boring. Like
Yeah.
they start off weird and like they're driving in the rain, and then the
I love
it's weird
you.
fucking 80s like, hey, the bright lights of the oncoming cars. There's the name of the person. I'm like, that's fucking cheesy. Like it felt weird.
Yeah.
And then they're like, well, I'm not a marriage counselor. Well, I like you too. Boom, we're fucking each other. Like, what happened? Like
but
that
all,
was weird.
But
and then,
all that beginning stuff felt very Coen Brothers, you know,
Yeah.
like fucking
Very
Tommy Lee
dialogue-
Jones talking.
Yeah,
There's
dialogue
no
heavy.
Country for old men, blah, blah, blah. And I think we know what the Coen Brothers can do,
Yeah.
and that isn't on their level. So maybe it's, you know, it's the beginning, and we've already read the end. You know what I mean? If that
well,
makes,
then that means that does influence us because we've already know what they can do. We've seen the pattern. So when we're watching something like this and we're just kind of going through it, we're like, I'm forgiving the boring part that I'm seeing because I know something's going to be good.
Right.
Something good's got to happen because if this is the same thing
how
that
many-
they've been doing for years, this
I
is
don't
gonna be
necessarily think that that's a bad thing.
Now, how
It's
many
not a
good
bad
movies have boring ass fucking beginnings?
Oh, a lot of them.
Yeah, I mean, it's like, and like I said,
You gotta set it
I
up.
I did kind of look at the timestamp because I was like, okay, when does this start really kind of getting good and
It's
getting
a
wrapped up?
90-minute movie.
And it was about 35 minutes into the movie where it really started. You started really getting like the main plot of it, and it
Yeah.
was really starting to drive forward. And I think it kind of, I mean, yeah, I knew that first 30 some odd minutes was really
A
slow.
little rough, yeah.
But I think by the time I finished out the movie, I was like, okay, like,
Right, exactly.
That was cool.
That's
and that was
exactly
good.
how I felt.
Yeah,
The payoff was good. All the stuff that happens after he's like cleaning the blood in the bar and stuff like
Yeah.
that. And I and like I'm saying, like I want to keep comparing like Eggers. Like we didn't like The Witch, and then
That's true.
I went back and watched The Witch, and I found new love for it because I
That's
could
because
see
we
what
loved
he
the
what-
Lighthouse. And,
right,
and other
exactly,
things,
and
yeah.
that's kind of how I feel about Blood Simple. It's like, well, I get excited for Eggers movies now because I know what he's capable of. So
Yeah.
I feel the same way about Blood Simple and
Yeah.
with the Coen Brothers. And
Well, I'm
I
not
just
saying it's a bad thing. I always wonder about that when
it's
we
not
go
about-
back to early works of directors we enjoy,
right.
and does it taint? Because it's the same thing when we were doing After Hours, where it's like
Right.
we already know the director made some fucking bangers. When you go
After
back,
Hours
I'm
is
just
a great
saying
film,
that this
though.
is. But see, I didn't feel that way, and
'Cause you're
I
wrong.
just okay. I'm just saying, like, you know what I mean? Like, are we using current works or other great movies that we've seen from that particular person to influence how we watch earlier works or any of the other works? that
I know,
we do?
I
It's like,
did.
oh, I'm already gonna love this because I love the director, and then we forgive the things that normally we would.
see,
fucking
I didn't do
eviscerate.
that because I look. So again, I don't have this bank of like who directed what in my head.
Yeah.
So after going back and again, I type in, I click on Coen Brothers and I'm like, oh, what else have they done?
What are
And I'm
these
like,
up-and-comers
and I'm
did?
like, oh shit, they have like, oh okay, yeah, I
Raising
did
Arizona.
right. Raising Arizona was their
There's
second film.
Fargo.
You got Big Lebowski, you got Fargo, you got all these fucking movies. And I'm like, oh, okay, that makes sense.
Yeah.
So going back at it, I'm just like, I go, this was actually a good starting point, man. I mean,
Yeah.
I think it was a good movie to really kind of showcase, I think, what they're capable of.
Because if I would have watched this in 1984, not known who the Coen Brothers were in the mentality that I have now, I would have came away with the same, like, man, they lost me in the first half, but that second half made up for it.
Yeah.
Which doesn't make it a perfect movie. I'm not giving this movie a 5, but I would watch it again, and I would definitely say, okay, this belongs in the pantheon of fucking Coen Brothers films. And, the same way, like, I don't know, like I said, an Eggers or an Ari Aster thing, whereas going to keep giving him chances because I see something there that I don't particularly like. I didn't like Hereditary. I went back and watched Midsummer, and I thought it was good, but I'm not a fan of it. But I know there's something there. I know there's something there that when I see it, I'll be like, okay, this guy is a fucking genius, and I just can't see it yet. But people already are seeing it. So that's how I feel about The Blood Simple is all. And I just... watching it that first time, I was really upset because I hated it. And then watching it the second time, I was like, this is still boring, man. But once I got past that 30-minute mark, I was like, okay, I'm all in. This is a Coen Brothers movie through and through. So
I mean, I like the whole like...
Everybody was dirty.
The hitman. He's like he's very 70s,
for sure,
Southwestern cowboy kind of guy. You know, I mean, it's just that vibe. I like that. I mean, I think that was a great character. I mean, even as simple as some of the turns were in this movie, where he shoots him at the desk, and I was like, oh, I'm like, he fucking shot him, and he's taking his money, and I'm like, how's this gonna pan out? You know, and then when you find out he's alive, and then he's burying him, and then he pulls out the gun out of his pocket after the guy put it in his pocket to bury it with him.
You're right.
You know, but
this
he can't.
This is the evidence. I got to get rid of the evidence.
And I was like, oh, he's going to shoot this guy right here, man. And it's like, and then he doesn't get the shots off. And it's like, I mean, there's just, it's an exciting finish, man. It's like, it does have some good moments, even though as basic as they are. I was into it. Like, I was super into it. And like, okay, what's going to happen next? What's going to happen? Who's going to double cross this person? And who's going to, who's coming out of the woodworks on this one? And, I mean, and the end where he gets stabbed with the fucking hand. And
so crazy for just having sex with Frances McDormand. Like, relax.
All this shit's going down, and then like it unraveled the entirety. And they're kind of stupid people.
Yes.
Like
they're
the most simpletons of people. Like Roy is a simpleton,
like Fargo.
Right. That's what I'm saying. Like no one's like a genius. No one's doing any of these great things. Everyone's just making stupid move after stupid move. And you're right. It is just a culmination of all those bad decisions leading up to this thing. Even to the point where Roy's like, there's someone across the street gonna shoot us or something's going on, turn the lights off. And she's like, why? And then turns the light on, and then fucking Roy takes it to the gut. Like, just stop doing stupid
stop
shit.
Being dumb.
And he addresses the whole no curtains on the windows thing when, again, stop fucking in a hotel room with the windows wide open. Like, there are certain things that you shouldn't be doing, and they're doing them. And it snowballs into the end where it's like, I'm not afraid of you, Marty. And he's like, well, I'll fucking let him know when I see him. And it's just like, he's dying. And like, shit.
Well, and it all makes sense when
that was cool as fuck.
When he edits the photo of them sleeping in the bed.
Yeah,
he's like, look, I killed him. And I'm thinking, this is your fucking wife, dude. You're going to know. I mean, how does this motherfucker, he's just going to cover it up like they're not dead and shit. And then he kills him. I'm like, oh, that makes sense.
That's why, like, how are you going to play this off? Like, they didn't run away together. She's coming home later.
Yeah, that makes sense.
And, so I'm assuming that's the reason we know, Fargo and not Blood Simple. Like, whenever you hear Coen Brothers' first movie, you're like, well, Fargo or Raising Arizona. You don't hear Blood Simple. I think that they were just trying to get, move their chess pieces into place
their feet in the door
before they fucking drop the bombs on us.
Internet movie.
Well, you got to think about it. This cast, even then, no one would have known these people.
Right.
No one knew who Frances McDormand was. No one knew Dan Hedaya or whatever it is. You've seen him in other things now. You've seen him in Clueless. Like, the guy, but you wouldn't have known him in 84.
Right.
The guy who plays Roy, I've seen him in 1,000 things. Great character actor, bit actor. Who the fuck is this guy in 1984? Like, you know what I mean? Like, nobody other than, like, maybe M. Emmett Walsh, the guy who played the private detective, was notable. Like, this is the most indie of indie movies. And, I would assume that if anyone's going to think of the Coen Brothers, Raising Arizona is going to be the guy, the one.
Well, Fargo.
John Getz is The
Even
Last of Us.
Raising Arizona is such a cult film. Everyone knows that over Fargo right away.
No Country for Old Men, though.
I'm just saying as a starting point.
Oh, gotcha.
That would be Raising Arizona. And then Fargo, and then, all these other movies. No one would think of Blood Simple because no one knows anybody in Blood Simple. Right. You see them now, of course. Yeah, I'm looking at, Frances McDormand. I would have known her fucking in 84, 85.
Right, exactly.
That's
exactly.
I was 6.
But I mean, we kind of have that problem whenever we go back and watch these old films because it's like, oh, I know who that is. But at the time, you didn't know who that was.
Well, and that's why when you think of these things, that's why you're like, well, if you were to say, what was the Coen Brothers' first movie, most people would probably say Raising Arizona. Because it's just more notable. Yeah. Even today.
But I'm
more
glad
notable.
you picked this because, as always, I say this often, but this is the perfect movie for this podcast. Where sometimes we don't pick, the great. Like we'll pick something super obscure or whatever. But I think Blood Simple is like a perfect movie for. I'll watch it later because we should have seen this, especially as fans as Coen Brothers as we are.
Right.
And
of all
then-
the other movies I've
and
ever seen of theirs.
This is a perfect movie, but I like the conversation of like, would we consider it good if we didn't know who the Coen Brothers were today, or stuff like that. But
And it's like that when we do things from like Scorsese or anybody else. Like we hold these people up to high regard because it's like when we were watching the Oscars, seeing John Williams lose, best score, kind of was weird because it's John Williams. You think this man literally could just walk into a room, play 3 notes, and win an Oscar for it. You would think that Spielberg is a shoo-in because it's Spielberg. You know what I mean? And now we're seeing that maybe that's not the case. And that's when I revisit some of these movies that I've never seen from these big actors or big directors. I'm thinking, was it a shoo-in or what? Would I feel? Am I grading this because of what I know now?
Score? Can't remember who.
I think it was All Quiet in the Western Front.
Oh, it was.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it
it was.
Well,
And that's what
I
was
need to
weird.
watch
Like,
that, too.
Good movie, but like I said, it's John Williams. This man is
It's like beating Michael Jordan.
Exactly. Like
You're like, wait a minute.
even in his 90s, can fucking run circles around anybody putting a score together, and he lost.
Well, and just a testament to this movie is I sat down, I was watching it, and I had to pause because I had to go do stuff, and then I was like, I ought to come back and
What the hell did
and-
you have?
Wait,
to
you have
do?
kids?
Yeah, and finish it off. So I came back, I started it. Well, my daughter and her friend were there, and my wife were in the living room. Well, they sat down as we were watching it, and I was already into the second half of this movie.
Yeah.
And they were sitting there going, so wait a minute. So, like, what's going on? Like, what's going
that shit.
Shut the fuck up.
So what's going on here? So I pause the movie and I explain. I go, okay, so this guy paid this man to kill his wife and
Her
lover, and now it's all backfired. And they were like, oh, okay. And they sat there and they were like, oh my God, I can't believe he's doing, so they were into it. And these are people that they have no idea
Right.
what other catalog these directors
they
have.
They have no.
So for them to be into what was going on in this movie, I just think that this is a movie that people can sit down and watch. And
Absolutely.
at the end, they're going to be like, "Oh, that's
Skip the
crazy."
first 30 minutes.
Yeah. Just I mean, it does.
No,
It
just
does
listen to
have.
Scott
I
explain
know, it
real
has
quick.
set
Yeah, it does have merit, and it does
does.
build up to what happens at the end of it. But yeah, it's a rough 30 minutes at the beginning. But it does have a great payoff.
Well, it's very dialogue heavy, and
Yeah.
it's-
Which is fine,
which
but
a
make it
lo-
interesting.
Yeah, but it loses a lot of the audience when
Yeah.
you do that because
Well,
people are
and-
stupid,
and that's
they
what he
need-
said. He
They
goes-
need explosions. They need gunfire.
He's like, "Oh, you're gonna fucking hate it. It's so much talking." I'm like, "Oh boy, what
It is.
did I pick, man?"
You got to pay attention to it.
And
I
I don't think it was that bad. I mean,
No,
even
it
for someone
wasn't.
like me that I'm like not super into like heavy dialogue movies. I mean,
Right.
it's like it gets you there.
As much as we hate saying
First half of this movie's in Korean. That's why.
Headspace, I just wasn't there.
Well, that's
So
why I had to rewatch the last
Yeah.
half of it too, because I was like, I watched it, kind of started falling asleep. I was just like, ugh. So I finished it up, and I was like, all right, that was good. Like if I would have done the first initial run through, my score would be probably a lot different, and I would get a lot of shit for it because of how much you.
3.5. Oh,
Fucking hated it.
That's weird.
All right. So what'd you
That's
give
my
it,
score.
Scott? It's your movie.
Like I said, I think there's a lot of cool background to this movie. I mean, it's kind of a concrete foundation for these directors. I enjoyed this movie a hell of a lot more than I originally thought I was because you hyped me up that it was going to be a fucking slog.
I know, but that was
This
when
is
I
why I
just
hate when you
watched.
guys do that stuff
Well,
beforehand. It's like, oh, this Scott's gonna really hate this.
I
And
can't
was like,
remember
well,
where
shit,
we
why?
went that day, but you had picked me up, or I had picked you up,
Yeah,
and
you're like, have you watched it yet?
yeah, and that was during the first watch.
Yeah.
So the second, where did we go that day? Why did
I
I
don't
pick you up?
remember, dude.
Well,
But,
that's why I try not to talk about this stuff. Like when you bring stuff up,
I
like
do
the other
the
day
same
when you
thing.
were
I try
talking
to
about
ignore
my
it.
movie, Tai Chi Master. You're like, oh, this. I'm like,
I
want
love
into
talking
it
to you guys
yet.
about it. I don't care.
I know you do, but like if we're gonna bring it here, I don't. Especially if I haven't watched it yet, I want nothing influencing what I want to do. I don't look anything
Yeah,
up.
I'm-
I try not to even listen to our show with the trailer on it because like I don't want to know too much.
Oh,
I don't want any kind of preconceived notion of how I'm going to feel about it.
I do the same thing when
You're
I'm
a
like when I'm
talker.
pulling the when I pull the audio, man. I try not to watch the trailer.
Right.
So I'm like, trying to edit it out so that there's nothing weird in the trailer without watching it or listening to it because I don't want it. Because a lot of older trailers, man, give away tons of shit.
They really do.
You know, so it's like
in a world where here's the plot.
Yeah, in a world where the ending is this. But I don't know. I probably again.
Truman Show.
Like the movie we watched last week, I think this is a solid movie, and I think just for the fact that it's something you can let people watch, and they're going to enjoy it. Dude, I'm probably at about a 4.
Here's my that's fine.
Yeah.
My question is if you're going to recommend a Coen Brothers movie, out of all the Coen Brothers movies, would this be in your top 5? I would say Fargo, No Country for Old Men, Big Lebowski.
They're all different, though, man.
This would probably make my number 5.
So
this definitely
here's
wouldn't
the thing.
be.
Are you talking category? Like, give me a fun Coen Brothers movie. Well, then I'm going to say probably Big Lebowski, maybe Raising Arizona. Those are fun, more upbeat versions of.
No,
their
I'm just
shit.
saying. If somebody was like, "Give me a list of 5 Coen Brothers movies in order of which ones you like the most,"
well, this would be the 5th.
Correct.
Yeah.
So that's why 4 is fine, a good score. I am personally going to do 3.5. I like this movie. I would want to see it in the theater. Blah blah blah. But I just if somebody came up to me and was like, Coen Brothers, what do you got? Fargo number 1.
Correct. But if you saw this movie, just as the movie sitting by
and then
itself,
it would be No Country for Old
Actually,
Men.
his reaction would be, look, I'm just trying to fucking order Whataburger. Stop asking me stupid questions.
What do you mean I'm a fucking asshole?
But does that, and I'm just going to go back to, like, and I'm not saying, I don't care. Like what Jordan was saying, does, like, the other movies taint your vision for this movie?
No, because I think
if this was your movie that you watched first and never saw any of them, is this still a 3.5?
Yes, because I think that this is still a good movie, but I think they have done better films. So,
but see, you're saying the thing that's changing how you're approaching it.
No,
they
I'm not.
have done other films. Take those other films aside. If this was the only
I think this
movie,
is a good movie.
I know, but see, are you saying it's a 3.5 because you know the other movies exist?
No,
or is it a 3.5 on its own without ever putting in their?
I think we're only saying that because that was the topic at the beginning of the.
Right, I get that, but what I'm saying is like, No Country for Old Men is a 5. Fargo is a 5.
I understand.
This is a 3.5 because it is not as good as not as good as those movies. It's just it's okay.
I understand, but see, that's the qualifier you're putting on it. At
I'm
the
not
end of
putting
your
a
sentence,
qualifier
you're
on
saying because of these movies.
No. Okay.
This is a 5. This is a 5. This is a 3.5.
Standalone,
not
it's a 3.5.
Using these, okay, that's fine. And I'm not judging your score. I'm just saying every time you've said this, then you say because of these movies of theirs are a 5. You're using those to qualify why this is a 3.5. I need to know. Standalone, this is the only movie you've ever seen from them. Nothing ever tainting it is a 3.5, and that's fine. That's all I wanted to know. I'm not judging you in any way.
What is your score?
3.5.
Okay,
it's fucking Memoirs of a Murder. I mean, no, it's a good movie. I enjoyed it. You know, there's nothing inherently wrong with it. There is a slog at the beginning. It is a lot of setup. I think for me, it does suffer from that. That would be my real complaint. I think the payoff at the end is kind of cool. I kind of wonder what happened to her after all that happened.
She went off to fucking other dudes.
Yeah, Roy's dead. Husband's dead.
She's like, I'm gonna do
Private Eye's dead.
Raising Arizona and Fargo.
No, those movies don't exist.
Oh, I'm just saying. You know, but
no, I get.
For me, it's a 3.5.
I get the argument. It's because I mean there is such a catalog, man, of these directors.
Yeah.
Man,
I think it's impossible not to.
It's hard when you go backwards.
Yeah,
it is.
It's very hard when you go backwards. I look at it from like a standpoint of like, you know, I do take in the fact that people sitting in the room got invested in the movie that I was watching from 1984,
right?
And were asking me questions about it, and I'm like, okay, maybe this does hit with normies that like don't normally hit with other movies because
good movies are good movies.
Because there's movies I've watched where people are like, "What are you fucking watching?" And I'm like, "Oh, this is really good," and they're like, "Yeah, it fucking looks like it's terrible."
It's boring.
Like, hey, how many more times are you gonna watch Black Adam? You fucking. You're gonna watch Blood Simple.
Oh yeah. All right. Well, there you go. Blood Simple. Check it out.
Awesome.
Or don't. I don't care.
Next week we have the Snack
Miller's
Show.
Crossing.
What are you picking for your next movie?
Dude,
when we come back from the
Audible.
The Snack
I already
Show.
threw an Audible. I know what.
Oh, we're gonna do an audiobook. That's awesome.
Oh no! Remember how I was just saying
You have to download Audible.
I was going to say we had a
and
nice
we have to
conversation
listen to
prior
an audiobook
about what I was going to pick, and then
Yeah.
right in the middle of this, because you brought something up, I changed it.
We're
I
watching
changed
After Hours again.
So,
Fuck.
Right.
You had
Big
said
Lebowski.
to me, or actually during this show or last show, I can't remember. Oh, it was last show that you're like, where I'm like, well, why haven't you picked it yet? And I've been waiting for.
Oh, you went and
pick.
found
So you
it?
went to the chat?
No.
Oh.
I'm not picking that. But
Found something
I found something that I've been putting off forever because I figured one of you guys was going to pick it, and I just said, you know what, fuck it, he's right. So I'm going to pick this. This is a perfect movie for the show.
Okay.
This is 1977. Roy Schneider and The Sorcerer.
In 1971, William Friedkin directed The French Connection. It received 5 Academy Awards, including Best Picture of the Year. In 1974, he directed The Exorcist. It made history. Since then, Friedkin has spent over 2 years in 5 countries on 3 continents, creating his latest film, an unusual adventure into the realm of suspense. 4 men, condemned by their past, robbed of their future, trapped in a life that was also a death. 4 men take an incredible chance, face an impossible challenge, and risk the only thing they have left to lose. Roy Scheider, in a new film by William Friedkin, Sorcerer.
Well, it's just called Sorcerer.
I know. It's been everywhere. I haven't seen it.
No, nobody has. Nobody sitting here has seen it. So, yeah, that's what we're watching.
Okay.
Sorcerer.
Roy Schneider.
Roy Schneider from Jaws.
Okay.
No, Rob Schneider.
Dude, I was thinking John Schneider from Dukes of Hazzard.
Oh, fuck that guy.
It's
You want to watch a weird religious movie
It's
about
directed
America?
by William Friedkin.
Friedkin.
Is that what it is? Yeah.
Friedkin is the guy who did The Exorcist.
Yes, The Exorcist, The French Connection. I'm sorry. It's one of Tarantino's favorite movies. I know that. I know he talks about it. But there's another...
Duke's favorite movie.
Is it?
Yeah.
There is a...
Brad?
Criterion
Bradley
movie called...
Brad
I can't remember the name of the Criterion movie, so it was really pointless to bring this up. But it's pretty much the German version of this film, and it's called like War on Drugs or something like that.
Dare.
I have heard about this movie. I have heard other people talk about this movie, but I still have not seen this movie.
Well, now you
I heard it's good. You're right. The internet can't stop jerking themselves off over this lately. Like, and I don't know what it is.
Is it,
like,
is it a fantasy movie?
No. So here's the thing. It's
So I
called Sorcerer.
hear Sorcerer,
It
man.
takes
I'm
place in
like,
like the Bolivian jungle. There's like a bridge scene with
Like
a
with
truck. It's like
fucking-
a
there's
heist
a
movie,
Dragon
man.
Slayer.
Like,
Dude, there's a bridge scene that's pretty famous. That's what it looks like.
Okay.
I
that's
forgot you
been
had a
everywhere.
screen blocker on there. I'm like, are you showing him anything? It's like a black screen.
Yeah, no, yeah,
It's like,
sorry.
what a dick.
Hold on a second. You guys vamp for a second.
Vamp,
Bam, 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 bam. Let's watch Wild Things.
I
seen that.
I haven't
I know.
seen Wild Things since it came out when I was working at Hollywood Video.
It's probably horrible now.
I couldn't even tell you what the plot of that.
It's just 2 chicks
Like,
kissing.
yeah, in a hot tub.
Yeah.
Well, it's Nev Campbell. We didn't get to see Nev Campbell in Scream 6, so.
No.
You know what another movie that I remember hearing about? I think I saw it when I was working at Hollywood Video, but never actually really, remember.
The Wages of Fear. Sorry, it was going to bother me forever. The Wages of Fear
Paul Meta.
is supposed to be the same like premise, and it's actually a foreign film that is compared to it all the time, Sorcerer. But it's about like 2 guys who have to steal like nitroglycerin, didn't get it, and it's very unstable, and they have to get it to these people, and yeah, it's called The Wages of Fear. So
It's based off a 1950s French novel, La Salière de la Pierre.
What's that? The Wages of Fear?
No, it's the whole movie is based off of a 1950s French novel.
Man, I should have picked The Wages of Fear. It's 100% on Rotten Tomatoes.
Yeah, it came out in 1953.
95% with the audience, but whatever. Sorcerer. That's the next movie. So
it's 4 outcasts.
I can't wait to watch Aaron's 80s movie.
South American
77.
Village.
Oh, and then the following month will be documentary month, where we will all pick a documentary. But that is not until
You heard it here first, folks.
May.
So did we.
It's gonna be May. You might been hurt, babe. When's NC coming back?
Never.
They can't.
Justin
They can't.
Timberlake's too
They
big
can't.
for
They
NSYNC.
can't get them all
Where's-
on the same
You'll
page.
never get
What's he
Justin.
been
He
doing?
doesn't care. He doesn't need to do anything. He definitely doesn't need to hang out with Chris Kirkpatrick.
I'm
What
not,
about Joey
I'm not
Fatone?
ashamed
I love
of.
Joey
I'm not ashamed to say that I've seen NSYNC.
I have too. When I was a child.
I did. My wife did. She was like, "I want to go," and I'm like, "Whatever."
He's like, I already have tickets.
It's gonna be
I'm sitting
May.
there. I'm sitting there toe tapping.
Yeah,
I'm like,
because NSYNC
I'm
rules.
like, nobody fucking look at me.
Your wife. Your sister's weird though, because it's like I like NSYNC and some Backstreet Boys songs, and she's like, you are never allowed to listen to Backstreet Boys.
She's team me NSYNC
That's
all
fine.
the way.
That's
man.
fine.
Although I think Backstreet Boys is better.
Oh, for sure. They're still around.
I think Backstreet Boys is better.
Oh, they. Yeah.
I think
NSYNC's first
better.
album is a banger.
Oh, yeah.
Backstreet Boys is
You mean
just
you don't want to fucking
I
way
like all
better.
the NSYNC.
You don't want to listen to
albums.
Space Cowboy while watching Space Cowboys?
I like all of
Yeah,
NSYNC's
yeah,
albums.
yeah.
I like.
Here
but
we're
I
a 40-year-old man talking about boy bands.
I like Backstreet Boys.
I'll fucking spend an
catalog.
hour
I
talking
like the
about boy
greatest
bands.
hits. Yeah. Join us next week for the
Dude, I Want It That
the
Way.
Backstreet Boys.
Who doesn't like I Want It That Way?
Oh God, I'll show you.
well,
You know what? No,
tell
no.
me
Tell
no.
me why.
You guys want? This is gonna be audio for the fucking show. You guys ready for this?
Is that NSYNC?
Tell me why
No,
ain't
it's Backstreet.
nothing but a ball. Yeah, it's Backstreet.
I can't ever remember.
Okay, here we go.
All right, here we go.
This is
Tell me why.
Hey, that's Jordan singing.
these are my kids.
What, you have kids?
Tell me why. Tell me why.
Jeez Louise.
Like literally playing their switches. Didn't know I was recording them. All I had to do was prompt them, and that's what they did.
Nice.
And it was like, I'm raising them right.
Parenting 101, man.
Exactly, man.
You know, you have those moments in your life where you're like,
I did right.
I'm doing a good job.
I'm doing all right. They're playing video games. We're fucking singing Backstreet Boys while I'm sitting there categorizing my Blu-rays. We're good.
I'm doing a good job. You're doing good, Dad.
Oh, so next week, snack show. Get ready. I haven't
Oh.
found shit. I don't know what we're gonna do.
We're gonna eat ranch ice cream, motherfuckers, and I'm so upset about it. Like the more I see it in my freezer,
I
I'm
still
like,
kind of want to do the wing thing that the guy did.
We'll get some
Yeah.
wings.
All right. We might do that. It just depends.
We'll eat it first, and then we'll
Schedule.
dip some wings into it.
Okay. So next week, or the next show is Sorcerer, or the next movie show is Sorcerer. Next week will be the snack show. If
John
you
Wick.
are
John Wick.
retrospective, so we're gonna go through all 4 movies for you. Yeah, and big hopes, huh? No, but thank you guys so much for listening. As always, go head over to iTunes, rate us 1 through 5.
Janet Black just liked one of our posts.
I don't know who that is.
I don't know either, but it just
Thanks,
popped
Janet.
up on my phone.
That's nice.
Damn it, Janet. Thank you.
Rocky.
If you what is it? I don't know what I was gonna say. If
Go to our Instagram,
Yes,
watch later
Watch It Later
pod.
Pod.
By the time this comes out, we're going to be 1 week away from picking our winner for the From Beyond 4K.
Win free stuff.
Get on there, like it, tag your friend. That's all you got to do.
And if you're not particularly don't want to win From Beyond, just listen to the show anyway, because I'm telling you right now,
Let us know. We got a whole
We
room
have
of
so
stuff we
much-
can pick from.
So much shit.
No,
to
the
give away.
next giveaway, fucking insane. So
Oh, you heard it here.
Oh,
it's
giving away a brand
now,
new
but,
car.
But I don't
You
want
little
I don't want to
cock tease.
downplay From Beyond. People be like, well, I don't care. Then
I was
going
gonna
to
say, yeah,
don't well, because what
don't
I'm
do that.
but because From Beyond is sold out. You cannot find it anywhere.
It's so fucking
if you
good,
go to
too.
eBay, if you go to eBay, it's like $115. So why don't you go ahead and head over, enter to win, fucking win this movie, sell it on eBay for $150, or don't. I don't care.
Watch it. It's great.
It is a very good movie, but
Or you post it. You flex to your friends.
Yeah.
You've got From Beyond
for free.
for free. From
free.
the I'll Watch It Later podcast.
You won it on our snack show, and 5 weeks later, he sent it to you, and
Yeah.
you got it.
I'm lazy. I don't care. Just like you don't care. No, I'm just kidding.
Terrible.
So, anyways, as always, I'm Aaron.
I'm Jordan.
And Scott.
Big gulps, huh? Well, see you later.